morning, everyone, fellow maritime leaders, regulators, ship owners, and industry partners. We stand today at the edge of an incredible technological frontier. But before we look forward to the promise of 2040, we must first dismantle a very dangerous myth that is currently paralyzing our industry and creating unnecessary anxiety among our crew. The myth that the robots are here to replace us. If we look at definitively empirical data from the World Maritime University Transport 2040 report, a completely different reality emerges. The introduction of automation in global transport is going to be evolutionary rather than revolutionary. It is a gradual phase transition. This brings me to the defining key challenges and opportunities for our industry today. The profound challenge we face isn't job obsolescence. It is severe talent gap and readiness. How do we attract and retain talent in a demanding, highly scrutinized sector? But within this challenge lies our greatest opportunity. The expansion of international trade will actually counterbalance manpower reduction associated with automation, projecting an aggregated need for more transport workers in the future, not fewer. We are not eliminating the human element, we are transitioning it. Automation is primarily triggered by the need to enhance safety, demography, and operational efficiency, not merely as a mechanism for reducing labor costs. The industry is moving away from repetitive labor towards job profiles defined entirely by data literacy and advanced management systems. The seafarer is not becoming obsolete. The seafarer is evolving into high-value digital manager, and they will remain our ultimate operational fail-safe. We must seize the opportunity to treat our seafarers as appreciating asset rather than operational asset. Having established that our human capital is more essential than ever, we must brutally and honestly examine how we are preparing them for this future. The STCW has been our global bedrock for decades, but today, given the velocity of our technological evolution, it must be viewed as a baseline, not a ceiling. As we aggressively pursue decarbonization, the transition to volatile alternative fuels like ammonia, hydrogen, and methanol is a transformative shift that goes far beyond ship mechanical upgrades in the engine room. It requires massive parallel adjustment in people, process, and safety governance. The current iteration of the STCW simply lacks the specific rapid training content required for this new era. This is precisely why the Republic of the Philippines, recognizing its immense responsibility as a primary provider for global maritime talent, has taken a proactive leadership since just at the recent IMO HTCW 12 session in London. The Philippine delegates aggressively advanced 9 critical technical papers. 8 of these were co-sponsored proposals explicitly designed to update the STCW Convention and the Code to align global certification standard with automation and digitalization. The message here is clear. We can no longer afford to wait for international regulations to slowly catch up to technology currently operating on the waters. As an industry, we must lead the regulation. We must demand a higher standard. Let's transition to regulatory halts to the operational reality on the bridge. One of the greatest existential risks we face today is a phenomenon known as clumsy automation. This occurs when an excessive and critical reliance on automations distance the human operator from the physical process of the vessel, leading to severe degradation. When an automated system inevitably encounters an edge case outside its programming, a sudden sensor failure, a subtle cyber anomaly, or unpredicted weather, it will instantly hand manual control back to a human being who has been passively staring at the screen. If that human lacks deep cognitive ability, the result it is catastrophic. This is where we must implement the best practice to enable learning and proactive risk management. The seafarers of 2030 cannot just take order from a computer. They must possess the critical thinking skills to evaluate a logarithmic output against their own experiential intuition. To achieve this, we must adopt resilience engineering. We need continuous simulation-based stress inoculation designed specifically to enhance critical decision-making under extreme pressure. Proactive risk management means training our people, not just to follow procedures when things go right, but empower them with the intellectual agility to troubleshoot when systems go wrong. The computer processes the data, but the cognitively adaptable human makes the ultimate judgment. However, all the technological integration in the world is rendered useless if the culture on board the vessel is toxic, rigidly hierarchical, or ruled by fear. We must address learning from accident and accident prevention. Recent data from the UK P&I Club recorded 100 severe crew accidents driven largely by communication breakdown and rigid power distance issues. How do we learn from these tragedies to prevent future ones? We must recognize the role of leaders and company culture in safety performance. In a digitalized, high-stake environment where split-second decision must be made across complex data stream, the traditional militaristic maritime hierarchy is a dangerous liability. We must implement a profound culture shift. As I have championed alongside my colleagues in the Philippines, we achieve this by providing training program focused on soft skill strengthening, mentorship program, open communication channels, recognizing and rewarding proactive behavior, and creating company buy-in from top to bottom. To address the needs of the future maritime workforce, a master can no longer just be an unquestioned commander. We need more coaches, both on board and on shore. A coach is someone who cares for the team, organize the team members in the sweet spot, align their integrity around organizational values, and achieve challenging the team to reach their full potential. True accident prevention is achieved when internationally building a psychological safe culture, where every single individual from deck to the chief engineer is empowered and confident enough to lead from their position. This brings me to the collective geopolitical responsibility. The World Maritime University data exposes a severe, highly quantified readiness gap. Developed nations possess the capital to adapt rapidly. For example, countries like France score 6.4 out of 10 on the Maritime Technological Readiness Index. Meanwhile, the developing nations of the Global South, the very nations that supply the vast majority of our global workforce, like the Philippines, score significantly lower at 4.7 due to massive development constraint. If international bodies impose strict new technological mandates without providing structural and financial support to labor-supplying nations, we risk the sudden economic disenfranchisement of millions of seafarers. The solution is collaborative, full-funded, just transition. We are already building the blueprint, the formation of the International Advisory Committee on Global Maritime Affairs unites the Philippine Department of Migrant Workers with ECSA, ICS, IMEC, and the ITF to expertly guide our roadmap to a just transition. Furthermore, localized actions like the recent MOU signed between Marina and BSM to roll out green fuel training and mental health programs shows us the way forward. I call upon every leader in this room. We must prioritize capacity building and infrastructural investment over punitive compliance. A just transition ensures that no seafarer is left behind. I want to leave you with the final reflection. As we obsess over digital twins and autonomous algorithms, we must not lose sight of the profound philosophical nature of seafaring itself. In ancient Greek epic, Odysseus survived his journey not through the brute force, but through his cunning intelligence and his absolute resilience in the face of chaotic environments. The modern seafarers managing extreme digital ambiguity on the bridge today is the truest contemporary embodiment of adaptability. We cannot always control the macroeconomics mandates, the occasional failures of the complex algorithms, or the brutal physical realities of our ocean storm. What we control is our internal response. We can control our commitment to proactive leadership, our investment in coaching culture, and in our unwavering dedication to just transition. The true measure of success in future-proofing the fleet will not be found in the processing power of the computer. It will be measured entirely by our commitment to highly adaptable, resilient human beings at the center of the system. Thank you and good morning.